Two Sides, The Carry-On Circle. Chapter 9, The Catch. Just as Hallie drifted off to sleep, adrenaline woke her up. If she wanted to get out, this was her opportunity with no questions asked. She grabbed what she could from the darkness and snuck out of the room. This could be the last time she saw these people, but after years of this exhausting family, it was time to move on. The sun started to come up. The group collectively woke up around the same time just to realize one of the spaces was empty. The carry-on circle exchanged confused looks but ultimately tried to remain quiet. They listened for any sounds of life coming from the rest of the apartment. Zay whispered, "Where did she go?" "I don't know, but that concerns me that you all are still here and she isn't. You guys should have left before the sun came up," Marcos stated. "If she was still in the apartment then we would know," Zay replied. "I think this is our cue to leave then," Zed added. Marcos said, "For right now you can leave your stuff here so it doesn't look as suspicious. I can sneak it to you guys if you end up needing it." The group said their goodbyes and tiptoed out of the Mendoza residence. "Well, now what?" Bryn asked. Zay and Zed shrugged. "I guess we can go to the hangouts for the day and see who's there," Zay said. "Yes, I'm in need of a blunt. This is the longest I've ever been sober." Zed laughed. The friends crept in the corners of Los Campos. They hopped around from hangout to pass the time. The longer they ran, the more the days became meaningless. The carry-on circle that they had put blood, sweat, and tears into for years has officially come to an end. Everyone's main purpose in life was no more. It was almost like Bryn, Zay, and Zed were just floating around in the atmosphere now. As the hours passed, little inconveniences kept getting in the way. "You know, I never noticed that thing before. Has that always been there? Do you see it right there?" Zay looked to Zed with wide annoyed eyes. "Bryn, sweetie, can't you just be quiet for 5 minutes please? For the love of God, I can't take it anymore," Zed stated. "Well, that was rude." "How was that rude?" Zed fired back, "You've been rambling about random shit all day. It's like we have been with a toddler. Why is that an issue now? Nobody ever complained before." "Because Hallie kept us calm." Zay laughed. Zed stopped in his tracks. "At this point I don't even know where we are going and I'm tired of walking."
"Yeah,
me too. I almost feel like we are being watched," Bryn replied. "You're just being paranoid. We need somewhere to rest," Zed said. Zay exclaimed, "Okay, well I don't know either. Do you two have any ideas?" "No, that's why we are asking you," Zed responded. "Last time I checked we were a team. It's always been Zay and Zed. Also, I don't remember being nominated as the new mom of the group." Bryn sighed, "Hallie would know what to do." "You haven't heard from her at all?" Zed asked. "With what phone you're right, Bryn, Hallie would know what to do," Zay stated. "There is a liquor store down the street. I can go get us snacks and maybe a bottle," Bryn said. The boys exchanged looks and smirked. Zay nodded, "Make sure you use a fake just in case." Zed shouted as Bryn walked off, "We will be right here when you get back." They exchanged looks again. "Run," they said at the same time. To their surprise, the area looked way too familiar. The apartment complex was just down the street. The two made a beeline for the carry-on circle apartment. Zay held a single key in his 2 fingers as they stood in front of the door. "I'm kinda nervous," Zed said. Zay hovered the key in front of the lock. "We can just hide out here for now. If anything we can get some of the things we left behind." Their jaws dropped as the door swung open. The apartment that used to always be full of people, music, and smoke was now completely empty. The feelings of lifeless life and dreams taken over by drugs were now only embedded in the walls. "Wow. Completely gutted," Zay whispered. Wow, is right. It's almost sad to see everything gone. We never got closure from this place and it looks like we never will. Zed added. Zay got a pit in his stomach, we should get out of here before anyone sees us. The last thing we want is police on our tail. The two looked across the way to see an open window to the Mendoza apartment. It's our only option. Zay said. Zed shook his head, Marcos warned us. I'm willing to take that chance. Zay replied as he made his way up the stairs. Marcos and Gabriel had been talking less and less every day. The only conversation that filled the house was the sounds from the TV. Marcos's heart dropped as intense knocking bounced off the door. He began to get up, but Gabriel beat him to the door. What are you two doing here? You're lucky I don't call and turn both of you in. You know what you have put my son through. What you have put my family through. Zay stopped the door as Gabriel tried to slam it in their faces, believe me, this is our only option. You can stay here. Gabriel said without a stutter, as far as I'm concerned we never saw each other either. The two made eye contact with Marcos right before the door slammed. Well, what now? Zed asked. Zay pulled a tiny crumpled piece of paper out of his pocket song with some change, plan C and my final idea. We need to find a payphone as quickly as possible. Oh, there is one at the entrance of the complex. Zed exclaimed. Zay's heart beat rapidly as he waited for someone to pick up the other line. Zed listened closely to hear a whole lot of nothing. The other line whispered into Zay's ear as he mumbled into the payphone. Without saying another word he hung up the phone. Zed waited in anticipation for an answer from Zay. Well? Zay answered, he will be here in 20. Bryn should be back by then too. I'm sorry, who is he? Zay grinned, someone we know very well. Zed gasped, Antonio. Zay chuckled, no, very close, but you will see when he gets here. Bryn kicked pebbles down the street to the nearest gas station. All she could think about is losing her best friend. It turns out they really did need her around. I'm so frustrated with my life. It was never supposed to get to this point. It was just supposed to be fun and finding somewhere I really belonged. She reached into her pocket. To her surprise, was a tiny bag of white powder. She snuck off into a nearby alley where the sun didn't shine. The walk to the gas station was history after that until a rude wake-up call came her way. Everything happened faster than the speed of light. Bryn froze in her tracks. Her life flashed before her eyes as Grace began to put cuffs on her behind her back. You never even told me your name? I'm sorry it has to end like this. Bryn cried. Justin cackled, what? Sorry princess, you just fell in our trap. Scott hollered.
Yeah.
Run now girl. What is going on? Bryn asked. Grace guided her to one of the cars. Were you not aware you had a warrant out for your arrest? Bryn didn't have a response. I don't even think she knows where she is right now. Justin added. Beth got in her face as she sat on the edge of the car. Where are your friends, huh? My friends?
Yeah.
Hun, where is Hallie, and the other two boys? Most importantly, where is Antonio? I don't know anyone named Antonio. Beth rolled her eyes. No, stop, don't even start. Gabriel Mendoza gave you up. You were one of the people that he name-dropped that we need to get. Bryn rolled her eyes back.
Yeah.
But that makes me the better person because I didn't rat on anyone. Scott stated, it makes you dumber. Not better. I just do drugs, I'm not a criminal. I don't get how people can do horrific things and get out on probation, but I don't even get the option to have mercy.
Yeah.
Listen when they want someone bigger than you that gives you the opportunity to get yourself out of trouble. Your history from our file is drug addiction and taking part in an identity theft and money laundering ring. You need to be honest about what your part was in the carry-on circle, because if it's just doing drugs, they can lessen your sentence. Beth explained, running was not the answer though. She snarked, whatever, I'm already caught so there's nothing I can do about it now. Listen, don't get smart with me or Beth. We are trying to help you in this situation, but not if you're being a smart aleck. I'm going to tell you right now. I am not giving up any information on my friends, and I'll do my time. Beth chuckled, spend one night in jail and watch your mindset change. I'm sick of this. She's going to jail just like she wants. Scott stated. There was a few minutes of silence, then the sounds of sniffles echoed. Bryn began to tear up. Beth said in a calm voice, why are you so upset that you're going to jail? Is it because you got caught? She sniffled, no, I just didn't think I would be doing this by myself. I feel like I lost everyone and I know it's because of my own actions. How did you get into the ring? She asked. I got kicked out of my house the day after I graduated high school. Which was honestly a miracle that I did complete high school. My parents were almost non-existent during my childhood, then started to come back around again once I was old enough to take care of myself. When I was a kid, my oldest sister took care of my other older sister and I. She probably was 14 doing the work of two parents. When I finished high school, I was the last left in the house, and I kid you not, the day after my graduation my parents threw me out. I was 18 and found myself in the streets because that's the only place I felt loved. I don't really remember how I met Antonio because I was so high all the time, but I know that was a couple years ago and I've been with these people ever since. So you just went with the crowd during all the crime? Basically because I was so scared to be disowned by them. Hallie joined a little while after me and we became inseparable. She grew out of the drugs, but I felt like I kept sinking deeper into them. I always wanted to be like her because she knew better. Now look at me, finally caught up in what I deserve. I'm surprised it took this long. Scott looked at Beth in the mirror. Somebody had a quick change of heart when reality hit, he thought. She took a couple deep breaths and her tears began to dry up when they pulled into the jail parking lot. A beat-up car pulled up slowly with the windows still rolled up. This has to be our ride, Zay said. Wait, Bryn isn't back yet, Zed replied. Zay looked at his best friend then back at the car. Honestly, man, it's just you and me now. Bryn will find her way, and when we get to a secure location we can get into contact with her. Right now we just have to look out for us because it has always been us. Zed nodded then followed Zay to the car. He gasped again as he opened the back door and the driver made eye contact with him. Tricky,